Hey boys and girls, this is Larry with ubrailroad.com. Check me out. Hey, today's short little video is going to be how to make those green industrial lights. You see them all day long on eBay for 12, 14, 16 bucks. I'm going to show you how to make them for less than $1 a piece, and they look great. I got them all over my layout. You can kind of see this one here, how I put the little HO track spikes in it and gave it the little climbing pegs that they used back in the good old days. I got them all over my layout. I mean, they're everywhere. As you could kind of look around, you could kind of see all the lights glowing. But it's real cheap and inexpensive to make these lights. Here's another one that's close up here. Gives you an idea how the style. You could use them inside your engine house and what have you. You could just use them everywhere, and that's what I got. I got them everywhere. You could see them here, there. I even got them in there, all up there. Look at the pink one up there on the Matty Rose. I got them everywhere. I mean, they're cheap, they're fun, and they really highlight. I even got them way back into the coal mine, way back in there. But look inside the engine house there, you could see them. But anyway, you're getting the idea of this. Here's one that is kind of neat too. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this. So let's go into the workshop, and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, I'm back. Now, there's kind of an extensive little material list here. Smoke these nasty things, but anyway, the first thing you want to do is you want to go out and purchase some of these upholstery buttons. You can get them at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Walmart, back in the fabrics. They come in different sizes, as you can see. Sometimes they come in sets with a couple of each. These might be a little small for G, but they'd work great for HO. Got different sizes. I use primarily these sizes right here. These two sizes are my main ones. I put these inside, the big ones outside. You can paint them the old industrial green. I like to leave this unpainted because it reflects a little more light. Okay, so after you get these, then you got to get yourself some rivets. These are regular 3/8 rivets. I just knocked the centers out of them, and you could use them as collars. Like here's some smaller gold ones. But what you do with this then is you would stick it through here like this, and then you use a 4mm wheat germ bulb. They call it. And I found that Edmonton Scientific has these the cheapest at about 100 of them for 19 bucks. It's 19 cents each. Okay, then what you do is after you drill your hole, now be careful when you drill the hole. Always want to drill it about a size or two under, because this is very soft aluminum. You could take your razor knives, hone it out, and make it fit to perfect, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so then after you drill your hole, you put your rivet in there, and then your light goes in, and you kind of see how that bulb is going to hang in there. I mean, you could adjust that with a dab of glue if you want it out a long ways, a short ways, so you can do anything you want with it, okay? Then after you get this all ready to go, then you're going to use 3/16 copper tubing. 3/16 copper tubing works real well. Make sure you hone this out either with a razor knife or something. Get all the burrs out of there so that your wires will slide through nice and easy. And you can see that, you know, these wires will go through very easily, okay? So now that we got that, we got the upholstery button, the rivet, the light, the copper. Now, what I do with the copper is I bought one of these, and believe it or not, this little guy is made in America. It's only about $5. I'll be honest with you, can't remember where I bought it. But look how easy this is. This gets you a perfect light every time. You just stick that in there like that, right on the edge, and then you pull it over. And you see that? It actually has lines where you can line it up. Then once you take this off, then you got a perfect light. If it kinks a little bit, don't worry about it. That gives it character. You know, nothing's perfect, so remember that. These are old lights. These are 100 years old, some of them. So anyway, all of this goes together like this, okay? Now what we do then is we would straighten it up to make it look as straight as possible. And if you find that's too long, fine. Nip it off wherever you want to go with it. So what you do then is you get your old Dremel out and you cut this off. Let me get the right bit in here. If you think my desk is a mess, it's not, it's clean. If it gets any cleaner, I can't find anything. So bear with me. Okay, so now we got the old Dremel and we're going to cut this. So give me 1 second and I'll cut this for you. You gotta kind of watch it because it wants to spin around because it's such a small little circle. So, a lot of times, after I get it halfway cut like this, it gets to be a pain, you know, it keeps going around the darn thing. Just break the darn thing off. You're gonna clean it up anyway. So then, you see how ugly that is? You take see? Okay, so you take your razor knife and you just deburr it. You know, spin it around both directions till you get a nice smooth turn out of it. Okay, so now you got this, and my wheat germ bulb, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to put this all together. This right here is your standard aquarium fish air hose. You can buy this anywhere. If you go to a fish place, you can buy it in bulk, and you know, a couple feet is going to go a very, very long ways. Get 3 feet. It's only like 20 cents a foot. So anyway, when you're all done, you cut off a little piece like this, okay? And this little piece goes over that little rivet, and then that locks that rivet to the bonnet. But I do recommend a little dab of super glue. Okay, then once you get that done, then you can take your piece of copper and you run it right down in there, and there's your light. Okay, is a little long, so I would cut it down, but for the video I'm just going to leave it. Okay, then is what you want to do is you'd probably paint this by now. If you have a bunch of them, paint them all together so they all look about the same. Paint them black if you want to do something other than green. Paint it black, then paint white on it, and then scuff that white, and then you get chips of black like it was white porcelain or something. Give you some different colors. So anyway, you run this through here, and this will go through here quite easily because there's, I think I got a burr in there, but it's going through okay. All right, so here we go. See that? There's your light, okay? Paint this any color you want, buff it up, make it brass, do whatever you want to do with it, okay? Now for the telephone pole. The telephone pole is just a blank dowel like this, okay? I would use a 1/2 inch, no more than 3/4, because that'd be about an 18-inch pole, but a 1/2 inch is like a 12-inch pole, and that's pretty standard. So then what I do is I take this off and I cut them about, well, you can see how long I cut them, about 10 inches, 10, 12 inches, okay? And then I round the top, you know, like they used to do. Then I take this bad boy. This is a drywall saw. And then I just start bearing in there, and you get your grooves for your roughness of the tree. Then go ahead and stain it. And then once you get it all stained and everything, now you're ready to start assembling this. So what you do is, I do believe this is the wrong size hole, but I'm just going to demonstrate with it. I think this was cut for 1/8 tubing a long time ago, and I just happen to have it around, but I'm just going to kind of show you. So then you just pull that through, and usually it come all the way out to the back, but you can kind of see what's happening here now, okay? You're starting to see the final result. So now that you get this, and you've got all of this done, then what I do is I take this real thin wire. I don't know what gauge this is, maybe 26, 28, but where I get this is if you need this real thin stuff like this, go buy a phone cord, like a 10-foot phone cord, take the sheathing off of it, and you'll have 40 feet of wire for like $2, okay? Then cut the length you want. I leave mine long so when I bury it, I've got a lot hanging underneath there, okay? So then what you'd do is you'd strip these and just connect these, run them down your pole, and you could take like, a little piece of wire or a staple off of one of those hand stapler guns, and you could kind of staple them as you go down. Or you could take a piece of copper, let's see, you could also take a piece of copper, stick your copper in there, and run it down like that, like they used to do. They used to sheathe them in a wood sheathing to protect the wires because they didn't have the quality of insulation that we do now, okay? So then once you get that in there, you can put that in there, staple it, leave it out if you want bare wires. I usually take the 2 wires then and I cut these so that the knots of the wires are like this, and I leave them bare because it looks really cool like that, okay? You can leave it looped, you can, vary it, do whatever you want with it, okay? And then run the wires right down the middle, and then you drill a little hole here, put a little wire nail in there, stick it in the ground or glue it, put a little plaster around it, mount it any way you want to. Okay, so that does that. And then if you want the climbing pegs, you want the climbing pegs on the back side, kind of at a about a 45 of each other. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just use, I use HO track spikes because they got the little hook going up where that they actually had in those days. And then that makes a real nice pole. And then when you're all done, this is what you got. Now see, here's what it looks like when you put that old forest green. Use any green you want. A dark green looks good. But you kind of see what this is all about. You can see that you're not going to have a lot of money in here. I buy rivets by bulk. Don't buy them in them little packs. Those are going to kill you. But if you go to places that sell them in bulk, I think Ace Hardware does, you could buy like a pound of these, which is like about 100 rivets for like $2, $3. So you're not going to have a lot of money in it, but you're kind of seeing what this is all about. This is a cheap way to make lights, okay? I learned this from a very good buddy of mine named Norm Anderson. He has a phenomenal indoor railroad as well. He showed me how to do this. I'm glad he did because it really, really accents your layout. It's not that you're going to run at night, but it's the idea, when people come over and you show your railroad, you shut your lights, you turn them on, and your layout just has a whole new life to it, a night life. So anyway, okay guys, I think you get it. So you need the upholstery button, you need the rivet, you need a little of air hose, you need 3/16 copper, you need the 4mm wheat germ bulb. You can get a bender. Here's another type of bender too. You can buy these for a couple, $3. They're just springs, and you slip it in there, and when you get the one you want, I believe this is it, then you can just go, go and you can get a nice bend out of it without kinking it. Another way, I like this one better because it makes it consistent every time. There's no guessing. You just do it and it's done, okay? So you're not going to have a lot of money in this, and my layout right now, I've probably got about 125 bulbs all over it. These are 12 volt. I hook them all up together and I run them off of a 12 volt 6 amp battery charger. Nice and consistent. It doesn't overload the bulbs, gives them a long life, and you'll enjoy this. So anyway, have fun with this. If you got any questions, ubrailroad.com is my website. Shows you how to get in touch with me. Get back to me if you need any further information. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks.